Good day world, and welcome back to Stuff We Do, where we do all the knife stuff you love. Knife reviews, knife tests, knife modifications and outdoor stuff with knives. Today we are going full South African. We are looking at this, an OKAPI. I picked this one up, I think it was during the week, but I found it quite interesting. Unlike the normal ratcheting OKAPI, this one is a bit smaller. Let me quickly compare it to a few others. Okay, this is the one I picked up now. This is the normal big ratcheting OKAPI. There's quite a big difference there. Okay, this is my old German one that was made in Germany. And then this is the little biltong OKAPI. Okay, so you see the new one I picked up is somewhere between the biltong one and the big, I think they call it a sable. Okay, let's quickly look at each of them before we start talking about that one. When we look at the big one, can you see there's a patina forming on the blade? And this is not something that's been forced, this is just because of age. Okay, we can see it says almost there. We can see it's a OKAPI made in South Africa with a little OKAPI. Okay, big thing, and it's got this type of resin impregnated wood that makes up the handle, the moon and the stars, and the ratchet action. Okay, put that to the side. Then we're looking at the old German one. This one was pre-1983, if I can remember correctly. Please check the other video about the OKAPIs I did initially. Okay, just a little bail over there, and it's a slip joint. No locking mechanism whatsoever. But this one, as far as I can tell, is actually plastic. Or if it's a resin impregnated wood, it's been done way better than the other ones. Okay, actually no, it is definitely wood. But it looks way better, but we can see it's still two halves stuck together. Okay, and then this is the old German one. Then the little biltong one, also a slip joint. I drilled the hole myself. This one is most likely the most practical, but this one says OKAPI made in South Africa, and it's a stainless blade. It's not the normal, I cannot remember if it is 1095 or 10 what do you call it, 1095 or 1075 that they use. But the old blades, they're flat on one side and then only ground on one side, so it's like a, I don't know, flat ground chisel on one side, I think, and then it's got a secondary edge. Okay, now this one, what makes it different? Okay, it says OKAPI made in South Africa. It's got a stainless blade. Okay, so for one, that's different. It is one solid piece of wood that has been cut in the middle, but it's an extremely light piece of wood. Okay, now this one I just got, like I said, within the week, and it was 25 Rand, which means $1.50, I think, if my math is correct quickly. Okay, so for $1.50 you get this South African made little treasure. Okay, okay, this one is still extremely stiff and will take off all your fingers. Okay, now when I went to the shop and I bought it, I bought two. Okay, so this is the one I've been carrying with me for a few days. Exactly the same thing, the only thing I oiled it, so it became a little bit darker and a little bit heavier. Okay, also because I've been playing with this, it's not trying to kill you as much. When this thing is open, there is almost nothing in the world that can close it, because if you can see there at the top, there's a little piece there, a little piece of metal hooking through. So you have to pull that thing far enough back to get it to open, and it's no easy feat. Definitely two-handed opening and closing. And then, like I said, this one says OKAPI made in South Africa with a little OKAPI. These knives are definitely not the most beautiful knives. They are extremely cheap, they are robust, they are working knives. These are not things that you're gonna, I don't know, put in a display case or pull out at any board meeting ever, unless you want somebody to phone the cops. Remember, here in South Africa, they call these things Saturday night specials, because especially in places like gang areas in Cape Town and things like that, these things get way more work than, well, at clubs and outside and during, I don't know, nefarious activities than cutting bread or things, for example. Okay, so their intended purpose is to be a working knife. If you're working in cane fields or something where you have to work with a knife the whole day, then this is nice. And if you don't care about losing it, because it is extremely inexpensive. They are quite ugly, I must say, but because they are made here and we do not have many knives that's actually apart from custom knives, we have loads of custom knife makers, but production knives, I think it might be DOW, I think it might be Buffalo River, and they are way more expensive than these guys. Okay, so these things are the only things that's been made here always. They've been made in Germany, like I said, I think it's pre-83, but I might be lying, and then they were made in South Africa. Initially they were made somewhere close to Pietermaritzburg, then they moved to a place, New Germany, which is actually quite nice. I need to show you this knife now. This is a thing I use in the kitchen a lot. 1095 steel, plastic handle, and then, it's so, there we go. It's got two little OKAPIs looking in both directions, and then it says superior quality New Germany. Now, New Germany is not in Germany, it is in South Africa. It's close to Pietermaritzburg, somewhere between Pietermaritzburg and Durban. The factory, if I'm correct, was there for a while, but now it moved back to, or closer to Pietermaritzburg, thus these ones, and now they say South Africa again, not New Germany. But this little knife, I love this thing. It's quite flexible, it's extremely thin, it's extremely slicey, and again we have a flat on this side, and on the other side we only have a small bevel and then a secondary bevel, and it's got the olden day butcher style blade on it. So I quite love this thing in the kitchen, that's why it looks like this, and because it's 1095 it will rust. Now this guy is being made closer to what did I say, Pietermaritzburg, and it's a stainless blade. So I suppose, because it's got one solid piece of wood, whatever wood this might be, because it's extremely, what do you call it, light. So with the oil it feels a bit better, and because it's a bit smaller, you might actually be able to carry this and use it. Now I know some of these people, if you go on YouTube, they have a way of flipping these things and of swinging them in and out. I think it's got something to do with this thing, if you can get it to loosen up a bit. But I quite like this ratcheting action. And if you have it open, it's not going to close on you. And it's a big thing. Okay. But I must say, this one I've been carrying. This is the new one. When you get them, they feel extremely rough, extremely thin, extremely clanky and rickety. But you can fix most of that by doing something like, if you pull your finger wrong here, you will get a few splinters. So what I normally do when I get one of these is take a little bit of sandpaper, just sand it in here, get it a bit smoother, so at least you won't hurt yourself while using the knife. And because this is such a thin, light piece of wood, it sands quite easily. So then I just sand down this edge over here. Already it feels better. Give it some oil, play with it for a while to get it to loosen up a bit, and then you can have quite a functional knife. And as I said, for 25 Rand or $1.50, I think everybody should own one. But this is one of those cases where you're going to pay 10 times more for shipping than you're going to actually pay for the knife. Okay, so that was my quick look at my new OKAPI small ratcheter, if that is a word, ratcheting knife. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, happy, and have a good one. Oh, and feel free to subscribe, please. Bye-bye.